I want to say a big thank you for joining us today. So, it is the end of one week and the beginning of another.
At the end of a quarter and the beginning of another quarter.
Yeah, it's April. Ah, nice.
Yeah.
The stock market this previous week, although it was quite short, so we had just Monday to Thursday.
Yeah.
Friday was public holiday in most parts of the world, and the New York Stock Exchange was not open. As it says they open it for people that have a lot of money. So
Yeah. I usually feel like when you have a lot of money, you can get the bank to open for you.
you can get whatever to open for you anyway.
Yeah.
But on Monday the stock market will be open again, even though it's holiday in some parts of the world still. But anyway, we are looking forward to next week. But before we get to next week, the previous week was quite good.
The previous week was quite good. I mean, it was a great profit for a lot of people, and we saw some of the stocks bouncing back. We saw good gains on tech stocks. One of the key factors, or one of the key things that happened last week, was the massive $2.3 trillion infrastructure plan, the Biden plan that was passed to the Congress, and those plans actually contains moving towards electric vehicle, green energy, and as well as taxes and a lot of other things, right? So we feel like that was a key factor in what really pushed out the stock market. And now we're going to be looking at the picks we had for last week and how they did. The first pick that we had was Alcoa Corporation. So that is ticker symbol AA.
Yeah.
And it went up 8.6% in the past 5 days. That pick we got from a friend in Clubhouse, and she kind of like stated the what they're doing, and it sounded like it made sense. So we had to put that one on the channel, and if you had got into that, you probably are good on that. But you can also still look into it. We feel like it's a very futuristic or positive company since they're into aluminium, and there's probably shortage of aluminium, so they will be probably getting a lot of demand supply hype. And the other pick is Vuzix Corporation, ticker symbol VUZI. It went down 5% last week. I traded this for a while. I got in and I got out because I was checking out the resistance support in terms of technical analysis. But this is a good company to hold for long term. I don't know why I didn't hold it for long term. I just felt like
We'll be getting back in at some point, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So and he also picked MUX, Mahwin Mining. So those are basic material company.
Yeah, one of my favorite stuff, by the way.
And he spoke about the fact that it moves a lot during the day. The moving average is really high, and it's a very good daily play or hourly play or whatever you do, It's a good short-term run, and it went up 3.81% in the past 5 days, which is interesting because ideally it's something that you get in today and sell tomorrow and sell next tomorrow.
As I mentioned, it's volume play for MUX. So if you're interested in that, just please refer to our previous videos. We discussed the strategy for trading MUX there.
Yeah, and then the final pick was PLTR, Palantir Technology. We believe that this is a great company. Like you see ETFs like ARK Invest keep buying more of this and keep increasing their position on this. And they have a very good business strategy on what they're trying to drive into. It went up 2.17% last week. I mean, this is something that you want to buy for a very, very long term. It's not a quick play at all. And we feel like this has a very good future, and this is a very good price since it's below its all-time high. Its all-time high price is 52 weeks all-time high is $45, which is currently like 50% less than
it's trading at 23 at the moment.
So this is a good one for a long run, and we might be seeing a little up and down, but this is just the beginning of the S-curve. So we'll still have a long way to go in the next few years for this one. And we also mentioned some stocks that have possibility, talking about GBTC, which are crypto mining companies, and we just mentioned some stocks in the previous video.
And I remember also there was up fintech, TIGR. And TIGR performed relatively well in the previous week.
Yeah, my issue now is you have to be very careful with your Chinese company play because there is a very big speculation on delisting them from the New York Stock Exchange Biden is really trying to get all the money inside the system in the United States, and they're trying to like get increase more taxes on companies that have operation outside the
Yeah,
states.
and
So
as we mentioned in one of the previous videos as well, again, Chinese companies are great. Most of them are anyway, but there's a lot of instability in their government and the way the government interferes with these businesses. See what happened with Alibaba and a few others. So you may want to just be a bit careful there so you don't fall victim of of delistings or
yeah.
anything like
So the
that.
good thing is some platforms do have. I've had an experience about delisting,
Yeah,
and
we've had
then
quite a few of them.
yeah, yeah. But some platforms like when they delist from a stock exchange like New York Stock or Nasdaq, and the stock moves to the OTC. If you have a platform that has the ability to trade OTC stocks,
Yeah.
you're still gonna have your positions in those companies.
Mhm.
So you don't really like lose your stocks. You still like you're still able to like see it and trade it in the future. And that also happened to Lupin Coffee, Lufin I think Lufin Coffee, and some other companies like that. It just happened recently to Just Energy, which is a Canadian company based on energy providing energy, and yeah, you can still probably get your positions. But the thing is, when there is a rumor that they're going to get delisted, there's a very high probability that the bears or the people that sell shorts really short the stock and the
Yeah.
price drop crazy.
Yeah, we've had a few. I remember
Yeah.
I've had a few experience. I still have some stocks in my portfolio that I cannot sell at the moment, and they've been there for several months because either they got delisted or the SEC stopped trading, something like that. Just be careful with Chinese stocks and a
And
lot
penny
of penny
stocks.
stocks these days. A lot of penny stocks are getting targeted, and you just put your money in it. That's just the end of it.
Yeah,
So
but then I risk, I reward. So
yeah, I risk, I reward, but then again, I risk, I risk.
yeah, and that's why you always learn to sometimes just take profit and play, or take your
Yeah.
capital and play with the profit. So it's the money is on the house.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the recap for what happened last week, and we'll just move on now to what is going to happen in the previous week, or our stock picks
For the next week.
for the coming week. Yeah.
All right, back again talking about the picks for the next week. We really hope that things are gonna go well and the bill is gonna be approved. My number one pick for next week would be Ideonomics, ticker symbol IDEX. So I've been in Ideonomics for a long time, since 2020, and
2020 is not a long time.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing is, I would say it's a long time for me
Yeah,
because
for a while. Yeah.
yeah, I've been there for a while. I mean, so I really think that they have a good potential in riding on the current electric vehicle hype and market.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be holding this one to 2025 and in the future, because EV is the future, right? And there's a lot of growth. The more Tesla and Neo and Xpeng and Lee and Arrival
And Lucid.
and Blink Energy and Charging Point and all those EV related stocks keep
Yeah.
rising, we also see a potential in Ideonomics, IDEX. So I would urge you guys to check it out. Although the public owns 81% of the company, but I feel like this is a good money play in my opinion. I have some positions in it. I bought more on Thursday, and I might still buy more later. That's my number one pick. And the second pick would be Vuzix again. Vuzix dipped last week, but I feel like this stock, you should really keep checking it out. Take a symbol VUZI. I would also like to mention that usually when I pick stocks, I look at the correlation to S&P 500 Trust ETF or the S&P 500 itself, and we saw an all-time high price last week for the SPY. So that's a good sign that we're recovering and stuff like that. So I use that to kind of like decide if I want to go into some long-term play like Apple and stuff like that. So sometimes you're in a company and there's something called the S curve. So the company might reach its maximum potential. So there's one of the most difficult thing about stocks is you want to know exactly when you're supposed to sell. And having said that, my final speculation for the next week would be a lot of this stock that has to do with cryptocurrencies and NFTs. So NFTs might be super hype and crazy today, but I feel like that's a very good play. I'm buying more of HOFV as much as it's dipping. Ticker symbol HOFV, All of Fame Resort Entertainment. So it's been dipping over the last week, but I'm
Yeah.
buying more of this because I feel like I was watching a video last week, and I feel like they said everyone or every person in some way have been involved in buying a digital art, and I'm like, how? And then the person gave an example, like think of it as a game. Like you have your phone, and then you're playing a game, and you have to buy probably coins, or you have to buy a new jersey, or when you're playing Subway Surf, and you have to buy a new shoe for the player you're using. That's kind of like buying a digital art. So you're not really owning it
Okay.
in person, but you're owning it because you're buying
I
it.
don't know.
So
For now, the concept of NFTs, to me at least, don't make so much sense. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy the stocks for these companies that trade them. For example, HOF. Of course, I have stakes in this company, but it's not something that I personally understand yet.
yeah, and then I would like to highlight the previous one. There was one I picked. Then the first week I talked about NFTs. I also picked another stock called Imagine AR, ticker symbol IPNFF, and that went up 35% over the past 5 days in during the previous week. I have position in that company, and that was a good run for me.
Yeah.
So
So basically, just be careful. Know what these companies are doing. If it's a concept you understand. Again, when Bitcoin, this whole Bitcoin thing became mainstream, a lot of people kicked against it. Nobody understood it, but it doesn't mean that the technology or this trend is not valid. It's just that you should be careful, know when to get in and out if
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what you
yeah,
want to
yeah.
do.
I always take profit for this kind of companies.
Yeah.
I just go on a ride. I would always suggest take profit. For instance, I have a friend that I told to buy OCGN. He was new in trading, and I told him like, no, don't just sell like paper hands. But sometimes a stock could go over the valuation you're
Yep.
proposing for it, and during that moment you're like, no, this is gonna go back down. And then sometimes you just decide that I'm gonna take profit and see how it goes. Because sometimes you're planning that this should be the price target for the next 5 years, and then it gets to that price target in 2 days because of Reddit guys or whatever. So it's always good sometimes to take profit when you see a quick hype, 100% hype, 200% hype. Just take profit because definitely the guys that play shots, they're gonna shut that stock, and it's gonna come down in the next few days.
Yeah, just before we go quickly, I'd like to share a few stocks. Now, these stocks should be on your watch list. I'm not going to necessarily say that you get in right away, but just have them on your stock list. And I'm going to just mention a few that are quite cheap for now. The first is TXMD. I've mentioned that in a few videos as well. Please check that out. So it is that's the ticker symbol TXMD. It's Therapeutics MD. That's the name of the company. Um, it trades at the moment at about $1.3. I know for sure because I've been trading it for a while. I think more than 6 months. It gets up to $3-4 and then goes back down. The move is very consistent. It goes up, goes down, and that's how it does. Another is QDN. We've mentioned that a few times also.
Chinese company.
It's a Chinese company, so be very careful there. Ideally, the best price to get into QD is around 1.8 to 1.9, and it trades to about, sometimes it gets to about 3-4 as well. So again, it's volume play. Just know what you're doing there. Have it on your watch list for now. Understand the trend before you decide to buy it. It's gone up to about $9 in the last 1 year, so it's an interesting one. It's a Chinese company. Don't forget, we've mentioned some things about Chinese companies. You have to be careful there. The next one I'll mention is CLVS. We've talked about that also in some other videos. Please have that on your watch list. Now, these are not necessarily my stock picks for the coming week, because in the coming week I intend to just see what the stock market is going to do in reaction to last week was quite hyped because of this whole Biden news, right? So I'm just going to sit out, see what the stock market is like, and then make decisions in the middle of the week on what to do, where to go, and how to go as well. But yeah, that's all from me. For some honorable mentions, Square is a good one to keep an eye on. They are quite expensive. Square, Tesla is also at a very discounted price at the moment. You may want to have that also on your watch list. Apache, Norwegian.
Norwegian cruise ship.
Yeah, so
coming back.
NCLH.
Carnival,
Carnival, CCL, and also American Airlines. These
Yep.
are travel stocks which may be interesting for you since the world is summer is going to be here soon, and we are seeing different news from different parts of the world. That things are beginning to open back up gradually, not a lot, but for example, cruise ships are getting a lot of bookings and all that. Airlines are getting booked for summer vacations, and things are beginning to open up. So you may want to have these travel stocks on your watch list as well. You can never go wrong with them. I don't think that we're going to have, at least in most parts of the world, total lockdown as we had last year. I don't think that's going to happen this year, at least with vaccinations and a lot of people getting willingly getting the vaccines because they want to travel. For
Yeah.
example, I'm ready to take the vaccine. I need to travel. I am very tired, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah. So that's all from me. Anything
Yeah.
else from you?
Honorable mention, Microsoft.
Microsoft.
Yeah, yeah.
That's an interesting one.
I mean, since they want to buy Discord, and Discord is quite big, so that could run them up whenever they seal the deal. So,
Okay, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Like, subscribe, check out the channel, and yeah. And if you want to join us also on Clubhouse, you can do that every week. We're on Clubhouse. We're going to leave a link in the description of the video. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah. See you next week.
See ya. Bye.